The Crash Course Podcast is brought to you in part by DerbyParts.com and Derby Inc. Magazine. Live it, breathe it, be it, Derby Inc. The Wadena Grand Slam, August 16th. Wadena County Fairgrounds, Wadena, Minnesota. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby Podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York. And now your host, Chris Marquardt.
Good evening. It's strange being back in the studio after all this travel here the last couple of days. It's a little bit of a different lineup that we've got tonight. We've got Andy Wolfanger here in studio, along with Ben Haas. Brian's got football practice and meetings and stuff as he's getting ready for the youth football season. And then Josh is, I believe he's listening live at home right now, welding on his junk Cordoba that he keeps threatening to bring to Hartford Fair, which will remain to be seen if he gets it done. Because I'm pretty sure when he said he's home welding on the junk Doba, it means he's sitting in a lawn chair watching Vern weld on the junk Doba. So we'll have to see what happens there. I anticipate a flurry of text messages from him. And then also the future Mr. Northeast Championship July, Tommy Dowd. He was supposed to be here as well, but he couldn't make it. So it's a little unfortunate. But we got
he's partying with Little Wayne.
Yes, yes. He posted some interesting pictures from that concert. That was cool.
Yeah.
But we have sold all 75 tickets, and we're going to be drawing the raffle car ticket here in a little bit. But first, Andy Wolfanger took some time out of his schedule to come in and hang out with us here a little bit. So welcome of course to the show, and we appreciate you coming out. And we've heard the story in July. Andy was cutting a gas tank out of one of his cars that he'd run at Penn Yan, and it ultimately started a fire in the garage, and the family lost everything. But in the process of rebuilding now, I mean, how are things going, and where are things at?
Pretty good. We're just dealing with the insurance company and stuff like that. Trying to get, well, I should say we got a place that we rented, so me and my family are together, and everything's good. So
small strides towards normalcy, right?
Exactly. Yep. And with the insurance companies, you just it's a waiting game, I guess. So yeah.
You're in good hands, though.
Yeah, with Allstate, sure.
You picked out a new home plan, right?
Yep, new home plan. We were at the architect, and we're waiting to get that back so we can move forward with that and get a new mortgage and start building. So. And
you had the chance. You were inspecting over at Ontario County.
I
did.
The
Ontario County Fair. Got the chance to hang out with those guys and
hang out. I got to be in Ben's shoes for a day. And
how was that?
It was okay, except for the Ben name tag on my shirt.
You duct taped it.
I did.
There was no confusion after you put duct tape over it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I made it through the washing machine, too.
That's good.
That's good. So it'll be on there for next time, if there's a next time. So.
Well, you found out how easy a job it is that I have.
Yeah.
Everybody seems to be able to do the job and critique everything you do, but it's because everybody can do it. It's easy.
Mm-hmm. It's easier to be a driver, I'll tell you that. Definitely.
And then yesterday you had the chicken barbecue.
Yes.
I heard there was
a chicken barbecue and
roughly 1 million people there.
I wish, but there was.
I heard it was pretty busy.
Probably just
got
under 200
all the tickets.
People.
Got all the tickets sold.
Yeah, just under 200 people probably. Thanks to Frank Palmer and Kenny Schwingle and stuff like that. And,
Frank's being modest. He's actually hanging off just to my right. He's just off camera.
Yeah. But
he was afraid we were going to make him talk about his Harley if he came on the show.
Yeah, there's quite a few people. A lot of people came out to support me and my family, so we're very thankful for that, and for him giving up his car and donating some money to us. Kenny Schwingle, he did quite a lot for the chicken barbecue, along with Matt Gaskin, his son, his family. So yeah, we're real grateful for them to help us out.
We're going to be catching up with Chad Diar, the winner at the Erie County Fair in Sandusky, Ohio, Sunday night. We'll talk a little bit about Rick Clark's winning the Modifieds, talk about Lebanon, Connecticut's show, get a little bit of feedback on Malone's 5-foot rule show yesterday. Guy Raymond, he was out in Norwich, and we're going to be talking with Darin Aagard a little bit later on as well. We got Steve Bucknam on the Skype line. I called you a couple times a minute ago, but it wasn't working. I don't know what was going on.
Yeah, it's my fault. I apologize for that, but I'm here now.
You were asleep, weren't you? You were asleep.
Actually, I wasn't asleep, but
you were Clash of Clansing.
I've been very sick this weekend, actually, and I was otherwise indisposed, so I apologize.
That's enough of that. We're good. We don't need any more of that. So should we pull this ticket? I know we got tickets sold in California. Ticket number 1, name on that is Mark Klein with Derby T. So that was cool to see. California, Iowa, Indiana, Ohio, Utah. I mean, people from all over the place were jumping in on that raffle. I talked to Troy Tagg, and he said for $100, he would get the one-way ticket here and drive that thing home, and still it would be cheaper than if you were to buy one of them to smash. So I thought that was an interesting perspective, that the car could potentially be driving clear back across the country. Pete Hansen, he's bought a couple of the tickets. Brett and the Crash Course has one too, because I think that'd be a pretty cool tour bus, so to say, if we could get lucky enough for it. But I don't know. We'll have to. There's only one ticket, and there were 75 of them sold, and it went fairly fast. It took less than a month really to get all the tickets sold. I mean, it went fairly quick. I know after we had posted that we were drawing the winning ticket tonight, I had probably another half dozen or so inquiries where people were asking more and more if any tickets were left and if there was any way that they could get a hold of them. It's like, no, we capped it at 75. 75 tickets were sold. There was no additional sold, and that's there's 75 of them right there. So I suppose, without Andy, come here. I don't want this to look biased. Come here. There you see them all being shaken up. Andy, come and pick one of these things. Somebody's going home with a 2-door Impala. There it is. We just need one. And the winning ticket number is this is ticket number 61. Ken Elmore. You know Ken? He's from Trumansburg. Ken Elmore in Trumansburg.
He just retired from Borg Warner last week, 41 years.
This is the guy you were telling me about.
Yeah. He bought 8 tickets.
This Ken Elmore.
No shit.
Works for him. It's his father. Yeah, they bought.
This guy just retired from Borg Warner, and
41 years
they've been nosing around this little car a little bit, and they wanted
That's
they
cool.
wanted to.
That's a good retirement present.
Yeah, exactly. He retired from Borg Warner. They were looking for a little bit of a cruiser, and
He's gonna put a 4-speed in that thing.
and all of his kids bought tickets.
Yeah.
So
Nice. That's
so that
awesome.
was that worked out pretty well. That was good for him. We'll have to. You gonna be able to get the keys to him then?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be okay. You should probably hang on to that and make sure that's actually his.
He'll frame that ticket probably.
I would.
Yeah.
That is
How about
cool as
that?
shit. He just
Yeah.
retired, and that's cool. That is awesome.
Yeah,
Last Thursday.
Yeah. Happy retirement.
absolutely.
Got a cruiser.
Like Andy says, you're gonna put a 4-speed
Put a
in
4-speed in that sucker.
it.
That's what I would do.
4-speed.
Driving around, squawking the tires.
Yeah,
Would you-
Absolutely.
just burn them right off.
Would if it had a 4-speed in it, would it still have glass in it?
No.
You just-
They are my favorite cars, though. I mean, I
You've
love
run
those
a lot
glass
of 'em.
house and pails.
You've run a lot
Oh,
of
that's
them.
awesome.
Yeah.
You gonna call him on your way home here?
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Ken Elmore going home with the Impala. Guy that's not going to turn the thing into a derby car, doesn't sound like, and just gonna enjoy retirement. So that's cool, man. I know Gary Sparks was asking me today, Steve, if there was any tickets left. I told him no, and he was bummed out. But I was thinking he was probably going to turn it into a derby car.
Actually, I'd be surprised. Gary's more of a Mopar Derby guy in general, so you'll probably see him driving around in that thing.
Well, not now.
Yeah, good for Ken though. That's always a feel-good story, right? I mean, the guy just retired. His family bought tickets for him. I'm glad to hear that. That's cool.
Ben, you disappointed?
What's that?
You disappointed, Ben?
About what?
Not winning it?
Not my own fault. I didn't buy a ticket.
Oh, I thought you got one.
No.
Well, you got to be in it to win, man. Hard to win if you don't have a ticket, I suppose.
Yeah.
I thought for sure you just put 75
I mean,
Crash
I
Course
wanted to buy a
tickets in that
ticket, but
bucket.
they told me I couldn't buy a ticket.
No, I'm not going to say that it didn't cross my mind, but I'm pretty sure that wouldn't have been fair. Stack the deck like that, that wouldn't have been right.
I mean, it was drawn right on film. How could you fake it? Unless there was 75 in the bucket.
No one would have known, right? That would have been terrible. That's why we had Andy Lee, the neutral party. After we woke him up, he came over here, drew that ticket. He's already back asleep over there in his seat. Yeah. So I'm gonna get Chad Diar on the phone here momentarily. Chad went back to back at the Erie County Fairgrounds in Sandusky, Ohio. It was a great show out there last night. They kicked it off right about 6:15, and they finished everything up about 11 o'clock. They had a bunch of different divisions. The light truck heat that they had out there, and I can't believe that I forgot his name. George Brandon is his name. That was the best truck derby that I've ever seen. He had an S10, and he did a couple tricks to the motor. That thing shut off once the whole time. The back bumper was wrapped right up to the roof. The nose was pitched sky high. It was bellied out at the cab corners. It was in the dirt. And he just kept plugging away. He ended up winning that. Came back out with a Chevy Suburban. That was the fourth run on a Suburban. That Suburban has now got a first and 3/3, and that one's done too. That thing's just waffled. But Chad Diar, he certainly had his work cut out for him in the I think it was 12, 15 cars out there for the feature, and the way that the rules are written out there with Corey McKillop's program is it's in your wheelhouse, just like what we talked about with Wadena, Ben. You can build whatever really suits you. It's not a GM or a Ford or a Mopar set of rules. And there was a couple 67 Imperials that were in the feature. There was a host of tilted Fords. Rick Clark from up in Canada, we'll talk about him in a little bit too. He was out there in a Suicide Lincoln. He ended up fourth overall, and just a real good feature across the board. It was a lot of fun to see those cars out there, and everything is just so well built. I gotta find Chad's phone number. Talk amongst yourselves. How was Lebanon, Connecticut?
Lebanon was really good, actually. It's Wood Booger Demolition Derby's second time back there this year. They had done a show there 3 years ago.
See you, Frank. Thanks.
And then JM Productions had been in there for the previous 2 years. And the fans really seemed to enjoy the Derby by Wood Booger. We had 20 cars, which doesn't sound like a whole lot, but the fans there have been getting used to seeing 6 and 10 car derbies put on by JM Productions. So to see a 20 car show was pretty good for them. Awesome show, though. We had a 4-cylinder feature, 6-cylinder feature, 8-cylinder feature, and then Wood Booger always does their last chance, where it's basically like a consolation at the end of the night. Everybody pays $20 to run it, and the winner takes all the money that was collected. Winners were, in the 4-cylinder, Dave Musto with the TKO team out of Massachusetts.
Hey, congratulations, Dave.
6 cylinders was Chad Ricketts from Sandusky, New Hampshire, in the high-octane machine, and he drove extremely hard. I was really proud to watch him run. Funny story was Sean Benito. He won the 8-cylinder derby in his number 2 Hammer Time car. He almost didn't make it on the track. His car didn't fire when it was time to pull the cars out onto the track. He was the last car there. The gates were closed in the arena. We actually were getting ready to start the countdown, and somebody realized, hey, we're 1 car short. And they were frantically in the pits trying to change a battery, and we were able to get him in the arena, and then he won the Derby. So that was pretty awesome. Cool. And Steve Roberts won the free-for-all in a Camry.
Oh, good for Steve.
Yeah, really, really good show.
Steve's from out in Rhode Island, right?
Yeah, Coventry. Rhode Island. Yep.
Cool. Sounds like a good show.
Fun time had by all, as always, with the Wood Booger show.
Lenny Hirsch has got a couple wins now this year, and John Kelly's on a little bit of a roll too. He's got a couple wins to his credit as well.
Yeah, maybe he does. I don't follow those people because Lenny's awesome, but when I feel disrespected, I don't follow anybody anymore. So I don't focus on John Kelly.
We got Chad on the line. Chad, can you hear us? Okay.
Yes.
Good. Congratulations on the win, man. Well done, you at the Erie County Fair there last night. I mean, tell me a little bit about what it's like to double up at a fair with that level of competition that you were up against.
It's hard, especially at that show. There's a lot of built cars, a lot of well-built, from Suicides, Imperials, roundback wagons, tilted Fords. We've got a lot of good builders out in this area. It shows, especially in a feature like that. It was a fast-paced, hard-hitting feature that you don't see a lot of.
You had your hands full. Nick Metzger was in the 508. He wouldn't go away. Rick Clark was out there. He he was pestering you a little bit, and you ended up having to drive probably the second, at least the last third of that, if not the whole second half, missing the right front tire, completely ripped off the car, doing it on 3 wheels. How difficult was that? I mean, just what does that do to you mentally in terms of what you do and how you map out the balance of the feature?
Well, it's difficult with 4 wheels, let alone with 3 and no power steering, but Nick's definitely a good competitor. Rick was a good competitor. I mean, there's a lot of guys through there. Bill just in the 225 and the Imperial. And them guys built some tough cars. Bortolini had a nice GM sedan, and that's one thing about Corey's rules. They don't favor one car more than the other. I mean, you get a wide variety of cars, and it's definitely a fun track to run on, you know.
Plenty of room. You guys had tons of room to work with out there, and you guys were using every last bit of it. Car 27, I'm blanking on the guy's name that finished second. He was in a two-door Impala.
Yep, he had a GM sedan, Bortolini. I don't remember. I think it's Tony. A good competitor. I mean, we were both fighting at the end. I honestly thought when it come down to 508 Nick, when I was in the corner, it was his derby to win. He definitely had it. I was able to get out of there and get some shots lined up and keep it moving, you know.
Nick was in trouble a couple times.
Yeah, he was fighting a few issues in the car. I mean, he definitely had the other car beaten. Rick Clark, who had suicide, was definitely tough. It was another one that you were not looking to tangle with. But
yeah, you wanted to stay away from that.
Fortunately for me, maybe unfortunately for them guys, but
Rick ended up getting packed in around a couple disabled vehicles, and he wasn't going to get out of there. You could drive all you want, and you're just not going to get out of there. And I think he was having some transmission problems because when he put it looked like he was putting it into reverse, and it would just turn all kinds of RPM. Put it into drive, the wheels would turn forward, no problem. So he wasn't coming out of there early on. He had gotten hung on the back of the guy that ended up finished second place, up over the bumper, and at that point it was Chad and Nick Metzger. And the 225 were all still left running, and nobody was knocking that Lincoln free. And it ended up that Bortolini got off the wall, which changed the angle of how everything was sitting. He backed Rick all the way to the blocks, and Rick spun his front wheels and got turned sideways and was able to get unhooked. And at that point, I was thinking that Rick looked like he was in really good shape because Chad was in some seriously deep water, going around with only one tire on the ground. And in the back because it was dipping so far down on the right front. And was it last year you had some problems with the front end too, and you ended up having to finish on 3 wheels?
No, I didn't lose the wheels last year. I lost the steering.
It just lost the steering.
I had one wheel I could control and one that was kind of doing its own thing. But last year, it come down to me and the 225 of Bilgis, and he was in a suicide Lincoln.
And
another guy that's got 30 years of Derby experience, man. That when you line up with him, you know he's going to let you know you're in there at the end of the night. He drives that thing and drives it hard. And
it was like watching the Monster Jams when they lose the front tire. They keep turning into the missing corner so that they can keep the back tires on there. And Chad was doing that and making hits, and it was back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Really didn't know who it was going to come down to, and then slowly, just one by one, everybody fell off, and it came down to the final 2. And even at the end, the runner-up still was able to refire a couple times, and Chad certainly had to work for it. Is it rewarding to win that show that way, or would it be easier, or would it be more rewarding to go in and just dominate the field?
Well, I don't think no matter what you drive, you're going to dominate that field. I mean, I've been to a lot of derbies. I've been doing it 19 years, and any one of those guys had a chance to win that show. I mean, they were all very well-built cars, and they all run good. And, that's in the derby world. That's the biggest thing. You get a good transmission, good motor, powertrain, everything works at one time. Person has bad luck, everybody else has good luck, you're in trouble.
So is it a shop-built motor, or are you a brand-name guy?
Rick Speedway Performance here in South Amherst, Ohio. Johnny up there does my engines. Done the one engine for the 508 of Nick Metzger as well, and the X21 of Robbie Wallace.
Robbie was there.
We've been definitely figured a few things out, and we've had some good luck with him, and like I said, he does an excellent job.
When you look at the amount of time that you've got invested in the car, how much time anyway does it take to build a car to go compete at Erie County? I mean, you walked away with a $4,000 payday each of the last 2 years. How much time have you got invested in that car?
Oh, a lot. lot. I would hate to figure it out. I mean, I spend hours every night, try to put the most competitive car out there. Everybody does that. Guys can get away with 1 month build. I probably have the average of, total probably a 2 month build on it. Not every day, but a few hours here, a few hours there, and it's a time-consuming hobby, but it's definitely rewarding when it works out in your favor.
We were talking a little bit with Rick Clark after the Derby was over with in the pits, and he was over there with Scott Javenek and some of the other guys that were over there, and they said that this was the direction that Derby needs to go, talking about these full weld cars, and we've had all these different conversations. It depends on what part of the country you're in, how valid that statement is, and when you look at the caliber of build out there, you have to invest so much time in order to be competitive. You don't necessarily have to have the aftermarket motor, but you need to have a motor that's not going to give up on you, transmission that's not going to give up on you. You have to have all the bolt-ons and stuff like that. So you're looking at an investment of anywhere from $8,000 to $12,000 to go win 4. Is this the type of build that you like? I mean, really, we've seen so many times in Ohio that this is the style of build that is prevalent. They don't want to go stock. They want to have this stuff. Do you like this type of build?
I personally do. I like to spend the time with the car. I like to try to get more than one run out of the car. There's a lot of shows anymore around us that are having a stock class and what we consider a mild weld class is what we run last night. These cars are $1,000, $1,500 for a shell. You want to get as much as you can out of them without being a full-blown outlaw, and you can't run it somewhere.
Right.
Yeah. I think that
mild weld, by the way.
On here, Erie County Fair, Lorain County Fair, Derby dog shows are all real similar in this area. The Huron County Fair, where our rules kind of allow pretty much all the cars to go and compete.
Right.
There's a few of them that are just 80s only, but for the most part, Corey's got a set of rules set out that you can compete from a Suicide, Imperial, Impala, Crown Vic, anything you take out there, you have an honest chance of winning, I do believe. And them guys are very, very thorough.
That's 100% true, too.
Inspection, that
Corey McKillips
makes a big difference. You don't walk away going, and did I get the best shot? Them guys are definitely fair and stick to their rules. And unfortunately, they have a few cars that they have to make change, but that's part of the situation out there.
Rick had to do some cutting on his Lincoln. I mean, he had some work to do, but he kind of figured that when he got there.
Part of the game.
Yeah, I mean that car. He's run that car once before, and he won Proctorville, and I believe, if I'm not wrong, but not with that car. I think that was with his Ford.
I was just saying.
Got Proctorville.
Yeah, Proctorville. Santel had a suicide last year at Proctorville. Him and Toby went down.
But I mean, nobody got loaded.
But can you run? Just a quick question. I'm not familiar with the rules, but I mean, so can you run hump plates and kickers to the behind the A-arms?
No kickers, hump plates on coil spring cars. Leaf spring cars are not allowed hump plates.
Okay.
So that kind of levels the rear section of them out, you know what I mean? So if you've got a leaf, you can't have the hump. Coil spring, you're allowed the hump plates.
Right.
And arch straight across here instead of arched hump plates.
Okay.
Which still evens it out. You're not making a contour where you're not welding 48 inches around the hump.
Right.
On each side, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all the fronts are the same way. You're allowed any front suspension. You're allowed joker components.
Right.
Allowed to hard nose the bumper on, whether it be an Imp, Crown Vic, everything's the same. No kickers. You're allowed your distributor protector. It's got to have a half-inch gap, basically, enough to see that there's a gap through there.
Now, you have to run shocks. You got to run shocks on the front or mountain brackets, or are you allowed, like the UD rules, like an 18-inch plate?
No, what you're allowed is if you shorten these cars past the factory core support mounts, you're not allowed a bumper shock or a plate on the frame. If you leave it factory, you're allowed to go to 6 inches past the core support mount. With an Imperial bracket, type of bumper bracket on the outside of the frame, or a bumper shock,
that's like
5 inches through.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah,
I'm sitting over here just watching the wheels turn.
Let you build a very, very competitive car.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not, like I said, the Imps used to be the thing to go with, and they still are. I mean, there was some very, very well-built Imps. My opinion is the Vics, I like them because they're a little lighter. You can turn them quicker.
More agile.
Yeah. Sure.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Half the weight, you're moving around there. I ran years ago, I was into the wagons. That was a big thing. Then I went to the Imps, and that was a big thing. And about 5 years ago, I swore I'd never run these Fords. And years ago, I made the switch.
Yeah.
Now, look, that's all I build, unfortunately.
You've been doing okay with them.
See that day. Yeah, they seem to be working for me.
Yeah.
I have to figure them out. It's like anything else.
Yeah.
Jeff Schweinfurth had that green round back there. The thing looked like an alligator. That was tough. He was wheeling that thing, and then they got a hold of the back end of it, and they just started wailing away on it. And I'm not even for sure what caused his failure. Did he break a drive shaft?
No, he lost a wheel on it. I know he lost
Was
a
it?
wheel. I think he was digging dirt. Back passenger wheel come off the car.
Could be.
That's what put it completely out. But at the end, I seen he was laying on the ground there, and he wasn't.
Oh, that's
moving
right. Yeah,
close.
he nosed up to the wall. I remember seeing that now. It was
really
nonstop action. 2 grandstands on both sides,
Right.
big pits on each side of the track so that emergency crews can get in and out without any problem. Fire crews have tons of room. There's no concerns that there's no concerns that the blocks are going to roll over and hit any firefighters or any spectators. They were real kind to us, and I was right on the wall.
Yeah.
Right on the wall for the whole thing. It got some sweet pictures and some great video angles, and it was just the feature. The feature was so hard to follow the shot through. Like if you see a car coming this way, about to make a hit, you want to follow that because the hit's going to be good. But at the same time, there's 2 other cars driving away from you that are about to blast somebody on the other end of the track.
Sure.
And it's like, which one do you want?
Multi-camera type situation.
So you should try driving into when that's going on.
No thanks.
Cars are moving so fast around. As you're watching one or going after one, the other one's hitting you.
No thanks.
One show you would like to watch, but we all knew lined up going out for the feature. We said, man, this is going to be a hard, fast-paced feature because every one of those cars were out there after the $4,000 and the 5 dozen years of corn.
I forgot about that. Yes, that's the
What is it?
They call it the Steve Bucknam clause in the winner's purse.
Really?
Yes, I did because they give away 5 dozen ears of corn.
Nice.
To the winner, and then second place gets corn, and it's all from 2 dozen, and heavy hitter gets some corn too, don't they?
What's corn for?
Corn to
They
eat.
like to eat.
Just
Corn.
run out there for
Yeah, they
years.
like to eat out there.
The local
I guess
corn
so.
farmer, so he donates 5 dozen to the winner, 2 dozen for second, and a dozen for the
Never heard
first
of that.
hitter or mad dog.
That's cool.
Yep.
So
We're
I
giving away free pizzas
back
all
this
weekend.
morning text about the corn than I did about the money for the last 2 years. Gross
Now-
is,
If they were giving away cake, you could call it my award, but corn, not so much.
Yep. And then the yellow car seems to match the corn well, so we'll keep that pattern going.
There you go.
It's a good point. I didn't think about that.
Sponsored by D-Cobb next year.
Cab. There you go.
But yeah, the corn out there is a major selling point. There's some serious interest in that, just as much as there is in the money.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the corn and the trophy. That's the big thing out here. Everybody wants that.
The
And
Boy Scout
it
troop.
comes and goes because it don't take long in the derby car, but you still got that corn and the trophy.
the fair board buys pizza for all the drivers. After the drivers' meeting is over, there's corn. Obviously, there's more corn to go around. There's corn and pizza available to the drivers, and to grab a quick bite before they come out for their heats and stuff like. It seemed like everybody got along pretty well out there too. The last 2 years, there hasn't been any fighting and nonsense and stuff that you see at some of these other shows.
I think everybody feels it's a very fair playing field. And nobody feels like they got the short end of the stick. Like I said, Corey and his crew does an excellent job, and that takes away, I believe, a lot of the drama. When you think somebody's
Sure.
getting away with more, you're automatic. You have something to say about it. But now that everybody watched the inspection, and I don't think one car passed on the first time through yesterday. Them guys are very, very thorough.
If you did pass on the first time through inspection,
You're going, holy shit.
yeah, you got a problem.
Yeah.
I've never seen Ohio guys
Go
go
back.
through inspection more than twice and pass.
Oh, I know.
You know?
Yeah.
If you went through the first
Well,
time, give the flag back and
thing
go
on my
back to the
car
pits and
each
do
time.
more.
And I keep telling them, I said, man, it's making me nervous. These other guys are cutting for an hour, and I'm cutting one thing each time.
No, I think if I ever went out there and made it through the first time through, I'd give him my stick back and say, I'll be back. I got to go do some more welding.
Sure.
Something to do here. I did something wrong.
Yeah, exactly. We've been there, done that.
That was kind of like Chuck
There's
at
his
Brookville
daughter.
this year.
About Chuck at Brookville.
Yeah, like he just had to do one small change, and he was like, "Oh boy, I'm in trouble."
I saw the Hammer Time cars were out there in Lebanon.
Yeah, Yeah, they all had fun. They all did really well. Chris Carey ran a rental. Tom Taylor Sr. ran a full-size car. Had some engine trouble in that full-size car, kind of following him from Brookville, I think. And Sean Benito was a Hammer Time car, and he won the 8-cylinder Derby. So.
There was a lot of 33Rs on the cars.
Every single one of them.
Yeah, it was. There was stuff written in the track too.
Yeah, we basically just talked to the drivers and said that we want to, as a group, we want to honor Rick. This is what we're asking, and we provided the paint, and every driver was more than happy to put something on their car. Mm-hmm. We put it in the track before the Derby, a little rest in peace 33R. Got some pictures with that, and we didn't actually do like anything special to announce it or anything. But when the cars came out for the first time, I did say to the fans, fans, you may notice that these cars all have a 33R on them somewhere, and Demolition Derby is a family. Because of social media, drivers all over the country know each other now. And we've lost a family member, and this is how our drivers are honoring that memory. And this is for Rick Engelhart, and everybody cheered for him, everybody clapped, so it was pretty cool.
It was really neat to see, and I appreciate all the people that had offered remembrances and comments and stuff like that when we were out there. Spent some time with Rick Clark with his Pro Mod car was impressive. I mean, he just drove circles around everybody out there and was surgical with that thing. Just picked apart an Imperial, opened up the left rear corner on it, and just kept wailing away and was really impressive. And he had Baldwins in both of his cars, and they didn't shut down. they just did not shut down. So it was good to see that. But he spent quite a bit of time actually talking with Andy and I out there just about Rick and how it was, it was really, really impressive the reach that Rick had. It was I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of cool to see Yellow Car win out there at Erie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
sure. Yeah, I didn't really know Rick.
I'm happy to see him win as well.
Yeah. You're happy to see that Yellow Car win and bring home some corn. But Andy, you were saying about
Rick. I didn't really know Rick very well. I mean, I did meet him once or twice, and I guess what I know from Rick is that everybody wanted the transmissions built by him.
Yes.
So he was the Mopar guru of transmissions, I guess.
Yeah, there's a lot of Mopar guys that are just
don't know what to do.
Oh shit.
Yep.
Yeah, I bet.
Now what?
Hundreds and hundreds. I mean, you didn't realize. I mean, it started out, he did trainings for a few select buddies, and
sure.
And it was a select group of people, and then next thing you know, you talk to a lot of people, and it seems like everybody that runs a Mopar is like, oh yeah, I got one of Rick's trainings.
Yeah,
I got
exactly.
one of Rick's trainings.
Yep.
And it's like, it's just, it's awesome what everybody's doing, and
look at the clock
for everybody.
Look at the clock.
Yeah, for not just Rick himself, but when something happens in the Derby community, everybody comes together and
right.
And
absolutely.
And that's what it's all about. I mean, everybody's a big family. It can't be said enough.
Where to next for you, Chad? Before we let you go.
Debating between the Lake County Speedway or Lake County Fair. It'll be this Saturday, or it'll be Lorain County Fair, which is my hometown show on the 24th. Got a car I ran at Trumbull a couple weeks ago, took second down there, and it's a week Matt Mike won up there in Trumbull.
Right.
So I've got a car here. I'm not 100% which place it's going yet. Both rules are similar, so I think last night's car, I'm looking at it pretty good. It may be a little easier to retire that one.
Yeah.
Fix the front of it, but I mean, overall it's still pretty decent, but it's at that point that do you stop or do you put more in it? So I think that being this late in the year, it's time to put that one in the garage and pull the other one out and get it ready, finished up.
Well, wish you the best of luck. Again, congratulations on the win over there 2 years in a row at Sandusky, Ohio, Erie County Fair with Corey McKillips. Great run, and certainly wasn't an easy task. We appreciate you making some time for us and telling us about your run.
Okay, thanks a lot. I appreciate it, too.
Thanks, dude. We'll catch up with you soon.
Have a good one. Yep.
See ya. Bye now. There goes Chad Diar, winner of the Erie County Fair in Sandusky. And I tell you what, I mean, you can't take anything away from. There was only 4 Pro Mod cars, and Rick Clark was absolutely awesome. He had his Bash for Cash car, and he'd done some things to it to make it hold up a little bit better.
You're allowed. Stiffer.
Yeah, there was a really, really big piece of bar that went from the back of the fuel tank protector to the top of the arch. Through just took a torch and just blew a big ugly hole right through all that tin, and just put a chunk of metal in there, and that held up. And it was really impressive to watch him drive that Ford after it already folded up. It didn't look like it was much of anything going out there, but it ran great. It didn't miss a beat, and he just kept working away on the back wheels and got all the metal cleared away and started wailing away on the axles. To the credit of the guy in the number 111, and I don't remember his name. Axles never broke. He never lost drive. It just got to a point where they basically just counted him out because Rick was just driving circles around him, literally driving circles around, hit him here, just all over the place. And I joked with Rick afterwards that now I know where Pete Hansen learned how to drive.
Yeah.
Rick thought that was funny. But we're down to the last little bit here. This is the last. One of the last times we're going to be playing this ad. We're going to be talking a little bit about Wadena here in a minute. I got to get Darin Aagard on the phone, but take a listen to this real quick, and we'll come back and talk with Darin Aagard.
The Wadena Grand Slam will be the premier team format derby this summer at the Wadena County Fairgrounds, Wadena, Minnesota. A minimum of $4,000 awaits the one-day team format champions, with at least $800 also being paid to the winners of the Chain and Go trucks, compact trucks, and compact car divisions. The Wadena Grand Slam Team Derby, presented by Performance Rear Ends, Double Diamond Motorsports, and Custom Car Crushing and Recycling, starts at 2 p.m. August 16th. For rules and information, visit www.wadenacountyfair.com.
And we're back already. We got to get that updated for Total Destruction, because Total Destruction added a show. They're going to be September.
Community can support 5 different derbies.
Wow,
that's a lot of cars.
I guess it'll do all right, as from what I hear through the grapevine and the drama. If I get my shit together, then.
Yeah, that is scheduled for September the 13th at the Otsego County Fairgrounds, having another cleanup show. So we'll get some stuff together so that you guys know a little bit more about that. Real excited. We've got Darin Aagard on the DerbyParts.com hotline to talk a little bit about the upcoming show. It's coming up this weekend. You said you've shortened your list of things to do. Now you're down to about 25 or 27 at this point. Here as we get ready for the show on Saturday.
I'm actually down to 26.
26.
I have to personally do, and then I have to make up a list for another guy so that he knows what he's got to do.
Is that me?
No.
Okay.
Actually,
I got nervous.
I have a small list for you, but yours starts at midnight or 1 whenever you show up on Friday night.
All right. That's good to know. We're doing 2 shows out there. Josh is running with Jesse Keel at one of the shows on Friday, and then the cars are going back to the shop, and everybody else is going the rest of the way to Wadena for the team show on Saturday. And then we're doing the pre-race, post-race podcast out there, and then we're taping the show as well, and then we're flying home Sunday.
He's like the NASCAR Derby guy.
Talking about Josh Decker?
Yeah, he's like
you pronounced it wrong. It's the Josh Decker.
The Josh Decker.
Yeah, you gotta get that right. That's his agent.
The
management team.
Yeah. Well, hey,
my other client didn't make it. Tom Dowd.
At least you don't have to worry about breaking snowplows out this time of year up there.
No, that's true. The introductions will be Josh Decker with his agent Chris.
Don't do that. You don't need to do that. That's not necessary at all. I could certainly live without that. How's everything coming together? You got a full list of teams. You're going to be paying the $4,000. If somebody wants to throw a team together last minute, they can still do that and get in and change that. You've got your other divisions are filling up well. I mean, is it just a matter of 26 small things, or is there also still some pretty major things to check off the list?
Well, we're finishing up the track, as I had talked to you in the past. We're letting everybody know a tornado had gone through here in 2010, right through the center of our grandstand, right through the center of everything that we do. And during our rebuilding process, we decided that if we're going to build something, let's do it right the first time. And over time, I've been doing derbying for 21 years and going to team derbies all over, down to Columbus, Nebraska, out to Mandan, North Dakota. I've been out and drove in Metal Mayhem. So it's, our county fairs around here, there's so many to do the derbies. Let's do something big. So our fair board brought in 3,000 yards of Class 5 and made a parking lot over what was our baseball field here. So we have very good pit parking. And we put in 2 feet deep of racetrack clay, 80 feet wide, 320 feet long to build the derby track. Go big or go home.
Right.
Your eyes got big, Steve.
That sounds awesome.
It's
Huge.
a little slimy on top, but I can dig down maybe an inch, but after that, it's going. So I hope we'll see 40, 45 miles an hour in the arena. I had to shorten it up a little bit because of less teams this year, but if we get a full 20 teams next year, we'll go the full 300 feet and give everybody room to play.
Yeah. Yep, you heard it. 45 miles an hour.
That's going to make things tough for filming if it's that long of a track.
We'll be
You really gotta
fine.
spread your cameras out.
We'll be all right. Not even worried about it. Not even losing sleep. It's going to be
Is it
awesome
really?
because it doesn't matter where the cars go. Wherever the camera is, they're going to get to it in a hurry.
I guess
Yeah.
since
Get some good
it's
traction.
that long, I guess my question is, why is it only 80 feet wide? Why is there limitations on the grounds where you couldn't stretch it wider?
Yes, we built an NTPA pulling track, and they really don't like it when you put derby parts on their track.
Yeah.
When you spend that kind of money and make sure that everything's built right, we have to limit ourselves a little bit.
But even at 80 feet wide, there's still going to be plenty of
There's
room.
tons of room.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
That sounds awesome.
it's going to be pretty wild. I can't wait. And the cars that are talking about coming, the rumors that are swirling around, the heavy hitter award is getting tons of attention, Darin. I mean, you've got these sledgehammer awards that have been the wood carvings that are on those continue to be a hot topic out there.
They are. I actually have 3 teams that have said that they are going for that award, and they're not worried about anything else.
By the way, those are the guys that are going to have in-car cameras.
Go ahead.
I said those are the guys that are going to be getting in-car cameras, just so you know.
Okay. So we'll have a team from Iowa, we'll have a team from Minnesota, and probably a team partially of Wisconsin, Minnesota team that would be getting those.
Mm-hmm.
So are you able to definitively confirm any of the guys that are coming yet, or is that's still being somewhat under wraps?
No, it is all posted out on We Crash for the last few weeks.
Yep.
So it's all posted. I believe, from what I've heard, we're going to see some new style Vics that are built very well. We're going to see some Cadillacs. I believe some Mopars.
Thunderbirds.
Some old T-Birds.
Yes.
Quite a few old T-Birds, if I can say.
Round bags.
My guess is we'll see 7 or 8 of them for sure. Probably 4 or 5 Cadillacs.
Speaking of Cadillacs, I got a couple Cadillacs for sale.
Those Thunderbirds are going to be like lawn darts going to the back of those roundbacks. I can't wait.
Oh yeah.
Well, there's a team of suicides too, right?
Yeah, I believe so. That's that.
So I mean,
No suicides here.
oh, no suicides. Damn.
No.
Well, that's the next best thing, T-Bird.
Yeah.
It is. And, that Kurt Zacharias would probably run into suicides, but not sure. I'm assuming he'll probably bring a T-Bird, as you guys have talked to him in the past about what he was going to bring.
Yeah. Yeah, them things are. It's like I don't know. It's like a Vic on steroids.
Yeah. What year T-Birds are you talking?
61 to 63.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Whew. And we know from experience he's got those figured out.
Yeah, he does okay with those.
Yeah.
This whole team, he's probably going to be the sandbagger on his team, what you've seen him drive.
Yeah, but that still means that his heat's going to be over within a minute and 45 seconds.
Yes, he is part of the team that holds the record at Mandan, North Dakota for 1 minute 37 seconds each.
Team heat got over a minute 45
Wow.
seconds.
It's I can't wait. We're flying out Thursday. We're gonna go catch the show on Friday. Rumor is that Jesse Keel thinks that I'm going to help finish up a car, which apparently that means wrap duct tape around a pillar.
And mount a roof camera.
That's about it. That's what I can do. That's pretty much it. And but he thinks that we're gonna be in the shop helping wrap up some of the stuff on Thursday night, getting ready for Friday, and then we'll head out Saturday for for the team show. I'm looking forward to the trucks. I mean, the trucks is something that.
Now, are they northern trucks or are they southern trucks?
These are chain trucks, what we call chain trucks.
Oh, okay.
And there's still going to be some pretty gnarly stuff there.
Weld everything pretty much, and you chain your hoods and doors.
Oh, okay.
Weld everything. Just burn it in.
I'm referring to like Pine City trucks.
They call them chain trucks because you take chain and weld it everywhere you can find a spot.
It's pretty close to that, it seems like. But, and then we had a big announcement we're going to make at the show on the pre-race podcast, the format for next year. So that I'm actually getting pretty excited about that. I asked a few guys in our area what they think about the new format, and they already want to sign up for next year without even having it announced. I'm
dying because I got a little taste of what that announcement might be, and it's killing me.
Why you just stop? Don't even go there.
Just don't go where.
Don't even go there. You
the
give
fact
little
that
tidbits.
The fact that I know a little bit about what this announcement is going to be.
Yeah, I don't even want to.
Josh knows too.
Why you got to do that?
We're excited about it. That's going to be.
It sounds like it's going to be a great time.
I got to do it. Josh will probably be hanging on the wall, right?
The dynamic of if all this stuff comes to pass, what they're talking about doing is going to change that show significantly.
Really?
Awesome. I mean, the step forward that's going to make for that whole program is going to be awesome. It's going to be like nothing that you've seen before. I can't wait.
Awesome.
When they told me to go big or go home, I said, well, what can I do to meet or exceed your expectation?
And just started checking stuff off the list now.
Yeah.
Here we go. It's going to
cool.
be. And
only money.
What I like about this show is it's this huge standalone event that's in the middle of the Derby season. You know what I mean? A lot of times you see these big events. Keystone Nationals is right at the beginning of the Derby season, and then everything follows through after that. You've got Blizzard Bash way at the far end of the season. You've got the two big Derby Icons shows, the three big Derby Icons shows are at the beginning of the season before we really get into the heavy part of the season. This is smashed right in the middle of it. Yeah. And for that part of the country, that's a really saturated Derby area too. And to get the turnout that they've got so far tells you something about what they're doing right. The rules, the wheelhouse rules, the way that they've got it, that if you're really good at building one type of car, you can build a car that's going to be very competitive at this. And that's the same thing we talked about with Chad a little bit ago about how you can pick and choose what you want to do and what you want to build and go out there and build and be competitive. They can do the same thing here in Wadena. And the thing is you've got three buddies with you that are all wearing the same colors.
Right. The great thing about it is you're having such a great response the first year out. And the first year out, it's usually the low number year,
right?
So you definitely you're going to gain all that momentum, and next year should be with your new announcement. Next year should be even will be stellar. It'll be huge.
Well, that's what we're hoping to drive towards that.
How hard was selling it? Go ahead.
How hard was what?
How hard was it to sell Wadena on having a Team Derby format?
Two of the board members, actually the third board president and another board member, have pitted for me going out to Metal Mayhem, and they got to experience the big derbies, and they could travel out to Mandan, North Dakota with me. So I just said, hey guys, if we're going to do something, let's do this big. And Lance Pritchett was at our fall derby, and I approached him and Bob Meyer, and I said, hey, what do you guys think about us holding a team derby here? And everybody from here that always travels, we have right in the backyard. And I went over and I started put it together last September.
And here we are.
Yeah.
Matter of days away. I mean, are you nervous at all? I mean, what's really surprised you the most about going through this whole process of putting this team show together?
What surprised me the most is how many guys are so interested in doing this and how few signed up. I had 24 teams interested, and I had 8 in the end that signed up.
Right. I mean, it seems like that's something that we're coming across everywhere, regardless of whether it's team format or standalone. I mean, Steve, what's it like out there in New England?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've definitely seen that across the board. I don't know if it's just finances or what things are, but people seem to be asking a whole lot more questions, really doing their homework, and really what I think it comes down to is people are shopping derbies. Mm-hmm. Promoters are getting a ton of phone calls, and makes the promoter feel like they're getting a lot of interest. But then you're not sure what you're going to have when the day comes. You think Keystone Nationals was kind of like that. We had a lot of guys that were pre-registered that just donated their money basically, and they didn't show up. So
right,
yeah, it's interesting.
At the same time, with the dwindling numbers, you don't have 150 cars showing up, and you don't have 20 teams signed up, Darin. But at the same time, the guys that are signed up and the cars that are being built, they are absolutely stacked. You would be hard pressed to say, okay, that's going to be one of the weak links.
No, every team that is signed up is very tough, and it's hard to say. I don't even know who would even say is going to get the heavy hitter or who's going to even win out of this.
The Sledgehammer Awards are great. I mean, there's so many people out here now that after they saw that come out of the Grand Slam event, they turned and they said, we got to start doing something like that around here, because we've got heavy hitter awards. We've got the ones that are pistons. We've got the homemade one that goes to the feature that's a couple feet tall, that's made out of all the different engine components and things like that. But the Sledgehammer, I mean, that pretty much tells you exactly what that award is when it's sitting up on the wall without ever reading what's on it.
Sure.
Well, and that's where I looked at, these homemade awards, and then I saw Drive for Five gives up baseball bats. I thought, what's a baseball bat do for a derby driver? It's cool that they get baseball bats. And I thought, well, Sledgehammer, if they don't like the award, use it.
Exactly. Exactly. It's not just going to lay in the corner with dust on it.
No.
It's a great point.
Unless you give them like a 25-pounder or something. They don't
Well,
want
the biggest one's what, 16 pounds?
The A main and the B main will get 16 pounds.
Yeah.
The chain trucks will get 12 pounds. Little trucks will get 10 pounds. The compacts will get 8 pounds. And the first set of Power Wheels will get a 4 pound.
I tell you what, you got some work to do. We saw some little trucks out there in Ohio that were absolutely outstanding. I'm really, really, really getting behind this light truck derby thing that's coming around. I haven't seen a ton of them out there, but I am waiting to see, because we saw what the trucks did, and we saw how Minnesota drives anyway. Mm-hmm. And you put that together with those little trucks, like what they had out there in Ohio. Oh my God, I can't wait to see it. It's gonna be a ball. S10s with just bend into bananas.
And S10s aren't very popular in our area. It's usually the Blazers, Explorers. That seems to be the big powerhouses.
Dakotas?
Dodge Dakotas are nasty.
Nope.
There was 2 of those yesterday.
Yeah.
No Dakotas, huh?
If you get to southern Minnesota, you see a lot more Rangers S10s because of the rules, how they can run theirs.
What's the biggest difference? I mean, what's the biggest difference?
Kind of rules.
They're down south. They're allowed the kickers from the core support down to the A-arms.
Oh, okay.
The kickers from their halo bar to their rear axle.
Right.
Where here we only can run the kickers in the front. So you need something that won't fold up in the back.
Mm-hmm. Explorers and Blazers, they fit that bill.
Yeah. And they're hard hitting. They don't bend, just like the big trucks that you've seen run.
I can't wait. I'm looking forward to this thing. Like been waiting all summer to get there. We had a great time in Minnesota last time. We're out there in February. That was
a little warmer for you.
Yeah. Can you attest to that, Steve?
Yeah, I mean, when I finished working in February, I had chunks of ice in my beard, so I don't think you guys will have to worry about that.
I'm hoping not. I was threading batteries into the sleeve of my glove, like shotgun cartridges, trying to keep the batteries warm so that they would last a little bit longer in the camera, because it was just so cold it was stuck in the batteries dry. We almost didn't make it to the end of the feature. We just ran out of battery power. We're ready to go though for this one. This is going to be fun.
I'm jealous of you guys. I want to get on the list right now for I want to pre-order the DVD.
All right.
So I'm telling you right now, I want to have that to take home.
I think I know somebody that can help you out with that.
Yeah.
We've we're just about out of time, Darin. I appreciate you coming on and talk a little bit about the show, and we're looking forward to catching up with you on Saturday. Is there anybody before we let you go? Custom Car Crushing, Double Diamond, and Performance Rear Ends, both all major players in helping Wadena happen. Is there anybody else you want to thank before we let you go?
The individuals who have donated their time and helped them get this going, for basically almost a year now, helping me make this dream come true, make the first ever team derby in the state of Minnesota that has gone. Other people have tried it but haven't had it go, but I'm going to make it go, and we're going to make it big.
Well, we wish you the best, and we'll be seeing you here in just a couple days.
All right, looking forward to it.
Thanks a lot, Darin. We'll catch up with you soon.
All right.
Yep. See ya.
There goes Darin Aagard, promoter of the Wadena Grand Slam. We got some local stuff going on. Tonight is Walton. You still got a little bit of time if you live like 5 minutes from the fairgrounds. You can still make it over there for that event. But my understanding is all the tickets are sold out. The place is just jam packed. Both sides of that tunnel, it's loaded right to the gills. So if you want to go stand outside and at least listen to the cars, you got the opportunity to do that. That they usually draw pretty well on Monday, and they're going to be going for several hours from now. And King Smash 'em Crash 'em, they've got a show on Wednesday at Fulton Speedway's Eve of Destruction. There's going to be Chris Marina, the stunt guy. He's going to be doing, I assume he's going to be doing his corkscrew jump again like he's done in the past. He does a bunch of jumpsuit campers and things like that. We actually interviewed him on the 31st lap a couple years ago, and he talked about the one time that he was really scared in a stunt was when he took a Lincoln Town Car and did a corkscrew jump into a river off of a bridge, and he landed upside down, and he started to panic because he couldn't get he like got a stinger and he couldn't get his belts undone right away. So he was underwater for a few seconds, and he goes, "Well, I really need to get out of here." But that was as elevated as his level of panic got. And I thought that was like, that blew my mind.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I'm not jumping anything into water. Period. Buckled into anything.
That's this Wednesday?
It's day after tomorrow. They're going to be out there for they've got boat races. Ryan Deal's going to have a neon out there that the raffle car from Otsego County Fair. He's going to have a trailer race car out there, and then they'll have the compact derby and then the full size derby. Josh Buell won that derby last year. Josh Decker won it the year before. Donnie Hartzell put on a show last year with his Imperial. He hit the loader and moved the loader, which was something to see. But and they've had youth derbies in the past that I don't remember if they've got that on the card for.
I wonder if Brett will let me run his Cadillac to run up there.
I think that Cadillac's already spoken for, but not at Fulton. I'm not sure where he's going to take it yet.
Are you finally going to get behind the wheel of the car, Chris?
Nope.
Who's this?
Nope, not me.
Actually, I know an Imperial I could probably get my hands on.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Do you still have one laying around?
No.
Oh.
I know somebody that knows somebody.
You know somebody?
Yeah.
Yeah. He might be at the Little Wayne concert, though.
Yeah. Hanging with Wiz Khalifa or something.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
You want to give Jim Mann a call from Woodburger Demolition Derby?
Yeah.
Jim and Eileen are working on putting the fall brawl back together.
Okay.
I'm not going to be around. I am
Oh,
moving
boy.
to Florida at the end of beginning of September.
Moving to Florida.
Yeah, I'm going to go be a fat, sweaty guy in Florida.
You're
So
moving to Florida with Tim Dyson?
well, Tim's down there. He's got some southern work for me this winter, so I'm going to try to make good of that, and we'll see how it goes.
Nice.
So they're going to need a good announcer.
Do they have a tentative date yet?
Sometime around the 27th or 28th, something like that. The right at the end of the month, I think. I haven't looked at the calendar, so I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I gotta figure out what that's gonna be.
But I know you've backed me up doing announcing before. You do a really good job at it, and it's a good way to get paid to come and film the DVD.
Yeah, I'll give them a call. We'll see what's going on. So you're moving to Florida, and you said that's at the beginning of September?
Yeah, I'm with Tim Dyson doing the stunt show at Wildwood, New Jersey, September 4th through the 7th. And when I finish with him on the 7th, I'm just going to hop in the car and drive to Florida. So.
Well, you're already right there near 95. It's an easy drive.
Yeah, it's just 20 hours straight.
It's
No big
nothing.
deal.
No big deal.
That's nothing.
You like
I'm
camping?
going to Panama City.
Nice.
On the Panhandle. Should be a good time.
Is Bo down that way?
He was down that way, but he's not now. He's still back in Brookville, and my
Yes.
understanding is he's going to make a go of it back home. He's running a sawmill and doing some other stuff there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I will give them a call for sure. Have fun. And, I anticipate we'll probably talk to you again. I don't know what the plan is for next Monday yet. We actually got some stuff going on at home. Melissa's mom has surgery for an aneurysm on her aorta on Monday in Buffalo. So I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get back for the Crash Course podcast. And honestly, I'm not that worried about it.
No.
You know, so
family first.
Yep, it's been a mantra that's become more and more prevalent here as we've moved through the last couple of weeks. So.
And then I'll see you at Hartford, I believe, on the 23rd.
Yeah, yep, we'll be in Hartford at some point. At some point, this schedule will slow down, I think. But the way things are going right now, it's just there's just no end in sight. It's just derby, derby, derby.
Yes, sir.
Well, in any case, I'm sure we'll catch up if we don't see you before Hartford. I'll catch up with you down there, and then I anticipate we'll probably have the winner of Hartford Fair on the show again the following Monday. But at the same time, I'm supposed to be in Virginia that Monday. So, again, the schedule, jumbled up a little bit. So, it's fun, though. That's what we're here for, right?
Sounds good, man. Hey, here's something to think about.
Yeah.
Take the winner from Hartford, put him right on the stage after the Derby, film your post-race show, and just air it on that Monday that you're in Virginia.
It crossed my mind. Actually, that crossed my mind, and also I thought about bringing the stuff down to do something live during the day in Virginia, and then we can do a phone in that way and still be able to cover all the bases. But we'll map something out. We'll make it work somehow. Very good. But Andy, I appreciate you coming up and hanging out with us. And
Absolutely.
It was congratulations to Ken, who's taking home that two-door Impala in the raffle.
Retirement present.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, way to go,
All
right?
his kids, he said all his kids bought tickets.
Yeah, his kids bought 8 tickets total. Yep.
Nice.
And
put his name on them pretty much.
Put his name on him, right?
Yep.
Exactly. He was looking for a cruiser, and he's got one, man.
Hey,
that's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, sucker will float down the road.
Yep. Won't have any problems there. But we got the sauce coming up here in about an hour. We're going to get out of the way so those guys can do all their prep work. Keep an eye online. We'll have some schedule updates and progress updates on everything as we go. Make sure jump online, check it out. Wadena Grand Slam. It's coming up on Saturday. Walton tonight, Fulton on Wednesday. Lots of stuff going on both across the country and here locally. Go support them. Thanks a lot, guys. It's going to do it for us. We'll see you next time.